guests on the show today are from the Jackson Anchor Initiative, the chair, Terry Mirzwa, and vice chair, Rich Collins. Hey, guys.
Good to see you, Bart.
Thank you for having us.
Nice to see you. Welcome. And happy 10-year anniversary to the Anchor, celebrating this spring, its 10th.
10th and final anniversary, yes. We're here, as you know, to announce that after 10 years, we're dissolving the Anchor and in a happy way. Mm-hmm. Mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished for the Anchor. And really, I think when you look back to the beginning of the Anchor, it never was intended to be a long-term organization. I think it just had a few years. You planned for a few years.
3-4 years, I think, was the plan.
Right.
You know.
Right. It was expected to have a 3-year sunset, and every year we'd have a vote. Should we keep going? Should we keep going? And the feeling of the board was there's more work to do. Let's keep going. And on up until this past November, our president and CEO Scott Fleming retired, and so that created an inflection point where we voted once more and said, you know what, mission is accomplished. It's time to throttle it down.
Well, today, and I'm sure our viewers will see by the time we're finished, the reason why they can stick a flag in it and make that declaration. It began right down the street on the corner in Bucky Harris Park in spring of 2014. Do you remember?
You know, I was not involved then. I don't think Rich was either. But
I was in the audience.
Yeah. So yes, it was a big announcement that we were going to do this, and we were going to make Jackson or do our part to help make Jackson a better place to live, work, and play.
Governor Rick Snyder came down to declare that Jackson would be the next community in the state of Michigan to put an emphasis on an anchor district following Detroit. And there, can you see Rich? Where are you sitting, Rich?
I think Dennis was here. Dennis, our previous president. I was in the background just watching.
And there is the governor along with Patty Poppe.
Patty there, yeah. And it was really her impetus that gathered together 14 of the largest employers in the county, as well as 3 educational institutions, and pulled together the Anchor Initiative.
You quickly got into an office in downtown, I think in the Innovation Center.
The Consumers Innovation Center, yeah.
And
Yep.
you had some leadership. You mentioned Scott, the last executive, but you started with Al Hooper.
Al Hooper, Consumers retiree, and then we had Mindy Bradish Orda with us until she left to take a job at Consumers, and then in 2019, I think it was, we hired Scott Fleming.
Yeah, so it was Patty, and I think at the time, Terry, you were chief of staff at Consumers Energy, helping to get this organization shepherded among volunteers and the business community.
I came just a little bit after the start into that role and became board chair, and was very happy. Rich mentioned his predecessor Dennis left,
Right.
and then Rich came on board and became vice chair.
Right. 2017, I joined. And
There's
been
Al
there
Hooper,
since.
who
Yeah.
it's interestingly standing in front of, at the time, the under construction La Saint Louis.
You know, one of the first tasks for the Anchor Initiative was chicken and egg. Is it retail? Is it housing? And Anchor did a housing study, downtown market housing study, and the results came out. And a lot of us were maybe surprised and a little skeptical that there was big demand for downtown housing. And by golly, we've seen since then that every time somebody builds something, it fills up quickly.
This instantly filled up, and there's a waiting list, also a waiting list for the La Saint Louis. And 2 more buildings are planned for downtown, groundbreaking this spring.
Well, and let's not forget Albert Kahn Apartments has come in recent years, and then the Francis Senior Lofts, and a lot of upstairs apartments, second floor apartments over downtown businesses.
We actually have a couple of engineers from our company that are in the 200 So, and walk the block and a half to work now, which is kind of was one of Patty's vision, was to have a place for up and coming professionals to live in a downtown environment. So we're experiencing that at Commonwealth right now.
There are three-ring binders full of applications as the waiting list for the Albert Kahn.
That's
Really?
wonderful. So again, proving that study that there's plenty of demand for more housing.
Mhm. And this is full as well, the Francis Senior Lofts. That really is, for your employees, Rich, relocating in downtown Jackson, I think it was a long time dream of yours and many in your leadership and ownership.
It was. I mean, we wanted to, be part of the fabric of the city and be part of this revitalization. And we had talked about building this large building that we've talked about before on your show, and that just didn't work out. And so I still kind of kept that flame burning, that looking for the right property. And the Comerica building is that's a perfect fit for us. It's such a neat office building. So we're really happy being there.
It's across the street from Horace Blackman Park, which has become the epicenter for festivals and celebrations in downtown. And it was just finishing up construction 10 years ago when you started the Anchor. And since then we've added the True Community City Square and dozens and dozens of events.
So we talked about Jackson, downtown being a place to live. You showed a lot of the buildings there. Work and play, and yeah, the play has just improved so much over the last few years due to so many folks. We've been a catalyst to helping to sponsor and fund these events, as have a lot of other local businesses and organizations. And boy, there's always something going on downtown Jackson now.
This is handy for the employees of Commonwealth right across the street. You probably don't even have to leave your office, Rich.
Food Truck Tuesday is a popular day at our office.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
Yeah.
The signature event of downtown over these last 10 years, without question, the Bright Walls Mural Festival. And that actually sprung from the Anchor Initiative.
Well, we were connected at the beginning. Some bright young professionals, Clay McAndrews, Leslie Youngdahl McAndrews, Jackie Austin, and Sean Palmer. They came up with this idea. I sat down with them as Patty's chief of staff back then, looked at their pitch book and said, oh my God, these guys have a great idea. Let's take this to the city manager, who at the time was Pat Birch. Pat was known to be a little skeptical on these kind of things, but rightly so, because people have great ideas and then expect him to do all of the work and make them happen. And I set up a meeting, said, look, Pat, just listen to these guys, let them tell their story, and keep your mouth shut for a few minutes, and then let's see how we go. Well, we weren't 3-4 minutes into the meeting in his conference room where he sat up straight and started saying, well, the city can do this, and the city will do this, and he got it. I mean, those young professionals had a great plan. They had the team to execute it. They were doing the fundraising, and they came to us, actually, Anchor, and pitched that pitch deck, and we're proud that we were the first sponsor, first people to give them some money and help them get started.
Not only that, Rich, you mentioned there's a dozen or so companies that were forming the Anchor, but these companies individually, including Commonwealth Associates, all supported Bright Walls.
Correct. Yeah, we did our own individual corporate donation along with Bright Wall. And there was others, I'm sure Dawn and others, as part of the Anchor companies and consumers, they all donated outside of the Anchor. So it was a good seed for that festival. And it's such a great change to downtown Jackson. People still talk about it and come down and go look at murals.
So just picking up on what Rich said there, I think that's an important point. Anchor is dissolving, but all of the businesses, the major local employers that were part of Anchor are still here and will still be very involved with the community, so that's not going away.
Now, the way the Anchor worked, it was a private organization that was funded by contributions of your corporate partners,
Correct.
and significant contributions over these 10 years. And I understand there's a bank balance.
There's a bit of a balance. Anchor had pledged to donate $100,000 towards filling the funding gap for the Hayes Hotel replacement, and we are honoring that pledge. We've parked that money at the Jackson Community Foundation. They're holding it for us, and we'll disperse it at the right time later this year. And then some final dollars that we have left, we're giving to Downtown Development Authority and Lean Rocket Lab. Rich has become a board member a few years ago, Lean
Right.
Rocket Lab, and we think they're, especially the Lean Rocket local mission.
Yeah. The Lean Rocket Local, you know, they kind of, we have an overlap a little bit in mission, and so we thought that was a great place to give some of our additional money to directly to Lean Rocket Lab. They brought in Alex Maston now to run that program, and you know, being outside of the normal manufacturing, you know, accelerated part of the Lean Rocket Lab, but that aspect of just getting small businesses up and running, we felt meshed well with Anchor, and so we thought that was a good place for us to put some of our funding.
They've helped incubate a number of businesses, including retail and restaurant, in the downtown. Have you counted how many new downtown businesses have started in the last 10 years of the Anchor?
Goodness, I wouldn't know how to venture a guess. I mean, there's been, just out of Lean Rocket Local, there's 8 to 10 businesses every year in their program. So that's been 3 years running. But the countless entrepreneurs that come through there and go off and make products and start there is, even your bread neighbor, I think he kind of got some funding there, right? The Donation Bakery had a tie to Lean Rocket Lab. So there's so many tentacles that came out of that, and when they came to us and pitched, we thought, what do these guys want? You know, I didn't understand what the heck they were trying to pitch when they came to Anchor at first, and then they came back, and we were the first sponsor.
Yeah, that was funny. We said, you know, we love your guys' enthusiasm, Brandon and Ken. You got great ideas. You don't even have the back of a napkin here. You know, you've got a little bit like the Wizard of Oz. Come back with some broomsticks. So by God, they came back with a more structured plan and letters of support. And yeah, we're very proud that we gave them their first dollars.
Yeah.
It literally was on the back of a napkin.
It wasn't even that yet.
It was very, very
It was
basic.
in their heads.
You've also funded a number of things for the downtown, including the loudspeaker intercom PA system downtown.
Right.
That was a Scott Fleming idea. He was the one that brought that to us, and I think he did that in Marshall.
Right.
And said, you know, Jackson would be, and I love music. I think that adds a nice atmosphere when you're walking downtown.
Yes, they're playing all of Terry's favorite songs. Do you choose the playlist?
No, I don't.
Well, it's neat, you know, during the holiday season, obviously.
It is. It definitely, I think most people agree, adds to the ambiance of downtown.
So we were talking about, we've seen some of the restaurants, some of the retail shops, some of the businesses that have come downtown. Jackson School of the Arts, we're looking through all the ribbon cuttings that have happened downtown in your 10 years, and there's too many to show. But Jackson School of the Arts, County National Bank.
Just amazing to think about. 10 years ago, people forget how downtown was awfully quiet.
You come down on a Friday or Saturday night, you don't believe it. There's the social district ribbon cutting during the pandemic, and again, you know, part of your 10-year history we all went through the pandemic, and you kept funding and supporting and moving forward.
Hey, there's a good one.
That was an exciting day. Beautiful job on that building. A real showplace. So the capstone, and I think Terry, you mentioned this to me the other day, that the Hayes essentially will become the capstone to the to the tenure of the Anchor Initiative.
My golly, that's been the white whale for 20 years trying to get that. I had an office in that building for 11 years while I worked for Consumers,
Really?
and we all moved down the street to the new headquarters in 2003. And all these attempts to get that done, you know, a lot of valiant efforts that didn't happen. And we give huge credit to Scott Fleming when he became our president and CEO. He's like, let me take a crack at that. I have an idea how to do that, and he put it together. We had a bidders conference for developers to come upstairs above Veritas, and we had local leaders, governmental leaders, business leaders all pitching downtown Jackson, and by golly, we got Jay Jeffers to say, yeah, we want to develop that building, and it's going to happen.
Yeah, he took a lot of people through that building. He was desperate. That for him, that became really a very important part. That to be able to have that later this year be a mission accomplished. That's going to make his career. And Scott, way to go! Nice job. And I remember that, Terry, when he was dialing people almost out of a phone book. There were developers that had a history in taking old buildings and rehabbing them, and it lured these folks here with the promise of a luncheon and an audience.
It really was a situation where pretty much everybody else had given up, but he made it happen.
The Jay Jeffers folks were here last week, meeting with prospective tenants for the first and second, third floor spaces, retail, office, and restaurant. And they actually have secured a restaurateur for what will be the return of the drum room.
That's gonna be
Nice.
exciting.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, your folks will be over there.
We'll be excited about that, yeah.
What does that building mean, being across the street with Commonwealth Associates?
Well, we've talked about this. I mean, we bring people in and out of Jackson a lot. I not going to wait and see what they do. I mean, if it's a situation where we can actually, you know, maybe purchase a condo or get a long-term lease or of some sort for an apartment or two, that would be something we would probably use versus staying out there by Red Lobster out there. You know, from our CEO, he travels here once a month for a week, and so something like that I'd like to generate out of there. But even the drum room or the other places, I mean, it's going to be an exciting place to have a holiday party or what have you. I just think it's going to create more life on that end of Michigan Avenue. Hopefully, it'll turn into a parking deck.
Yeah. Well, it'll be exciting. The plan is May-ish that officially things will begin at the Hayes. So, well, congratulations to all the partners and members of the Anchor Initiative, and thanks to all those community supporters, corporate partners,
Thank
and
you.
all the individuals volunteering all of their time over these 10 years. Great job.
Thank you for all your support over the years, and we're happy that JTV will still be a fixture downtown for years to come.
Thanks so much. Well, we'll look forward to all the seeds that you have planted sprouting in the next decade. From the Jackson Anchor Initiative Chair, Terry Mearswa, and Vice Chair, Rich Collins.